All right, everybody. Hey, I sound a lot different than Selena. I am not Selena, if you can tell, but I'm honored to be on this call tonight. And I'm gonna make it easy. I'm gonna make it quick on everyone. My name's Jonathan Roberts, by the way, not what it says in the bottom left of my name tag, that side opposite for me. But I got a call from Selena about 20, 30 minutes ago. And I can't remember. I was doing something. I was in the backyard. It's, 95 degrees in Phoenix today. I was enjoying the sun, getting a little tan. And she's like, hey, I never freaking do this. My flight was a little bit delayed. Like, she literally plans her flights around like this call. If anyone wants to know that, me on my Wednesday call, if I got to fly somewhere at 9 o'clock and it's convenient, guess what? Somebody else is doing my call. So that's the type of person Selena is. And it made me think because, like, I've had 20 minutes to prepare for this. I'm like, crap, what am I going to talk about? Like, my Wednesday calls are a little bit different vibe than Selena's, but I want to give you the same energy. I want to give you the same passion she has. So if I could deliver half of what she delivers to y'all, I'm going to be super, super excited and happy about that. So that being said, I was thinking like, Selena, what am I going to talk to your people about? And I even asked her and she goes, I trust you. Talk to them about whatever. And I went, oh, that's not a good idea. I'm just going to drop an F-bomb for like 30 minutes straight and they're not going to like that. So I'm thinking and I'm like, okay, one, I'm actually grateful that she wanted me on her call because she could have called any of the other 30, 40 coaches, however many people we're at right now and asked them. But she gives me a call and, it's last minute. It's 20, 30 minutes. So that says a lot. Like if y'all have been following her for a while, she's very passionate. She loves what she does, like we all do. But she really does go the extra mile. So it meant a lot that she trusted me to jump on this call and didn't even really give me a topic or anything to talk about. Just said, you'll know what to say. I went, no, I won't. I'm just going to say some random stuff. But what I dialed in was gratitude. Is really gratitude because I'm thankful to be on this call with you guys right now. And it was something I was actually thinking about 2 or 3 nights ago. And this is going to be me just talking from the heart. This is going to be me talking from the heart. And it's gratitude. I'm thinking the other day, I screwed up. I accidentally got on Twitter or something like that. And the problem with Twitter is it's toxic as hell and no one's moderating it. I freaking love it to a certain degree. And everyone on there, left wing, right wing, I voted for him, I didn't do this, I did do that, whatever BS excuse they're filling their mind with to not accomplish what they want to do, I'm reading it all. And after about 2 minutes and 6 laughs, I was like, all right, I can move on to something else, otherwise I'm going to go in a dark hole. But I realized this. I realized in that moment, I know how to solve all problems in the world. So I want you to stick with me here. And this is going to come down to every single one of you. This is going to come down to me, and this is going to come down to us being grateful for ourselves, grateful for the land that we live on, grateful for other humans to our left and right, and not always having to say, hey, look at me, look what I'm doing. Now, I believe that there's a huge part of that in our lives that we missed. I was always taught growing up, and if you follow my Wednesday calls, you could probably see this side, it's reversed. This side, I'm former military. I come from that military background. I come from the get the job done and shut the heck up. And you don't need to tell everyone. You don't need to brag. Like I used to be the guy that watched the NFL and I would see, Chad Ochocinco doing his little dance in the end zone. And like, I'm like, dude, I hate that guy. He doesn't need to be doing that. That was dumb of me. That was me being jealous that I never made the NFL. That was me like taking another man who's playing at the top 1%. This could be man or woman, but a man, a human being playing at the top 1% of the 1% of leaders in the world. And he's just having fun doing it. Like he's one of the people who actually doesn't hate going to work, who doesn't hate showing up on Sunday and just getting smashed with a bunch of, big sons of bitches that are beating him up. Like he's actually out there enjoying it. Now, I'm sure the couple $1 million a year paycheck helped a little bit, but he's having fun while I'm sitting there hating in my head. And as I've grown in, my social media presence and a lot of the reels and stuff that I do and I throw out there, like I get a lot of haters and I think they're freaking hilarious, by the way. Like I don't let them affect me because all they do is boost my algorithm and help me out. But I realize like, I'm trying to think like, okay, a man or a woman, what does it, what possesses you to go sit in your basement, make a fake username because it's always user 1231742. That's the hater. They never have a real picture. It's usually a cat, by the way. I don't know. Like you cat people are freaking weird. Like it's never a dog because dogs are loving and they love you at all times. It's kind of that cat attitude of like, gee, get off of me. Like only if I want you. Like that must be why they select the cat image. But like it's always user 127463328 and it's a cat. And it's just ridiculous stuff. I mean, if you go through Andy's comments, it's freaking hilarious. Like he's got the real haters and they've got some good sense of humors in there. I've got some that are a little bit goofy, But like, I really had this thought of like, okay, why? Why would you do that? Well, that was me. And I hate to say it, like I never was that low where I'm getting online and being a hater, but I was I guess you call it in the closet hater. I was, like I said, watching Ocho Cinco or Chad Johnson or whatever 6 names he has, watching him on the NFL going, dude, you got to quit doing that shit, man. Just score the touchdown. Act like you've been there. Okay, he'd been there more than most people. He just enjoys the heck out of it. He's getting that endorphin rush for getting the win. And I lost that. So I'm going to end world hate today, but I need everyone's help. I really, really do. I was thinking about this with the haters, with the Twitter, the Facebook, everything. How do we do it? We start doing the little itty bitty things again. I'm talking this, and I need everyone's help. And this was actually, the end of my Wednesday call today. So y'all aren't the first people I'm saying this, and I'm going to start pushing a new message. We've got to start doing the little things for ourselves, for society, because society is split. And I don't care what side you're on, of what policy you're on, of what politics you're on, of what sports team you're on, of whatever you're on, you're split in some way because someone out there is trying to keep you separate from the man and woman to your left and right. But the cool thing is we all live on this planet together. So let's start living together. So the first thing is when I go out, I'm going to make a commitment, and I hope everyone on this call, this touches you just a little bit, this helps you a little bit, without asking for love, without filming it on TikTok occasionally. And there's times like those $1,000 dinners where you go tip a waitress, everyone chips in $100,000 and you change a waiter or a waitress's life by a $10,000 tip for the night. I love that crap. It's like, you should just do it without telling anyone. Well, then no one would do it, you moron. I'm pretty sure the waitress with 10 G's in her hands going, I wish they wouldn't have filmed it and just not given it to me. Yeah, right. No, she's happy as hell. He's happy as hell. They're good with it. Let me just clarify. How about you go do it for someone else and see what it feels like? But this is what I want. When you walk into Safeway, or Kroger, or whatever the hell grocery store, Walmart, everybody's got a Walmart. When you walk into Walmart and you see a piece of trash on the ground, assuming it's not a hypodermic needle for y'all California people, I'm just kidding, that was a California joke. I'm from Arizona. I left Oregon, had to get away. But as long as it's not a used needle, bend over and pick up that piece of trash and go throw it in a garbage receptacle. If you're with your family and they say, what? Just doesn't need to be there. Looks like shit, doesn't it? I live here. I shop at this Walmart. I didn't put it there. But the problem is everyone didn't do anything. Someone else is going to do it. When you see a shopping cart and you're walking by it, or someone's, returning their shopping cart to a bin, grab it from them, take it up. If you see one parked against the curb, take one shopping cart and put it away. Now, here's the thing. And this is where it's going to get hard. And this is why this isn't just a one-time conversation. This isn't a one-time conversation. I hope you could take my passion for this and share it with someone else. But you are going to have to do this over and over again till the day you die. And it's not going to be this huge following. You're not going to get this parade of people following Jonathan Roberts around going, oh my gosh, get your cameras out. He's doing it for the gram. Because I'm not doing it for the gram. I'm doing it for one of you. I'm doing it for the one or two individuals that goes, I just saw that guy unload his shit. He put his shopping cart away, and then he walked 50 feet, grabbed another shopping cart and put it away. Like, why would he do that? And then maybe they see Leah do it 3 days later because we're starting to spread the joy. We're starting to spread positivity in the life. And then they go, what the fuck is going on? This Leah person put her groceries away, put her cart away, and I saw her pick up trash and put someone's cart away. These are the little things in society that if we start here, because if you guys don't know the Elliott Group, we're taking over the world. That's our freaking mission. And we have a voice. We have followers. We have people around us. So I'm going to lead. The Elliott Group's going to lead that level. But we need your help because there's so much hate in the world. There's so much division. And I truly don't care what you believe because I don't know what to believe. I don't know what's wrong and I don't know what's right because it's all over the place. But I do know what gratitude is. I do know what doing something for someone else is. I do know what contributing to where you live is. I know what it feels like. I know. Does anyone know how to clean their house? Like y'all got some shit on your floor, you pick it up, you throw it away, you feel better. Imagine this. Imagine if we started to treat Earth like it was our house. And I'm not saying I'm not a hippie. You don't got to go buy a Tesla. I love diesel pickups. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But I hate seeing shit on the street. I hate seeing a man or a woman walk by some shit, step 3 steps to the side when they could just bend over and pick it up. I get it. If it's nasty as hell and it just looks gross, don't do it. But here's the thing. I'm going to do it. Why? Because I need those antibodies. I need whatever nasty, weird shit that is so it doesn't affect me later. I'm trying to get it. I want every disease. I'm just kidding. That was weird. But I want it all because it'll only make me stronger. But if it ain't too gross looking, if I don't see blood or some other weird substance on it, you see a candy wrapper, pick it up. You see a shopping cart, pick it up. If you're too afraid, go get one of them alcohol wipes, wipe the handle down. You know, guess what? You're killing germs and shit. Double good for you. But I want you to think about that over the next, hopefully, rest of your life, because here's what actually happens. When you start doing good for others, you will continue to seek good in others. How many people right now could get off this call with me? I've seen a few smiles. I hopefully, it was like, who's this goofy son of a bitch? Like, he's almost as cool as Selena. I guess we'll buy in. We'll give him some courtesy laughs. But like, I hope like you take these smiles that you have right now and this little bit of, oh my gosh, like I do need to do something. And you go do something for someone else. You go do something. It doesn't have to be a direct person, but you go do something for our society of mankind. I don't care what country you live in. I don't care what city you live in. I don't care I don't care of any of that. Just do something for the society we're in and understand this. This is going to be the hardest, one of the most difficult things you do the rest of your life if you choose to commit, because no one is ever going to thank you. Yeah, maybe 1 in 100, you might get a thank you. But I do know this. I do know there's a young man or a young woman out there who's going to be looking for someone like you, who's out there viewing it, who sees CNN, Fox News, CNBC, thinks the world's burning, and then they go out and do their own, reality. And I was early on COVID, I was a freaking nut. I'm watching CNN, I'm watching Fox News, CNBC, I'm trying to do the math. I don't believe any of it. Maybe I do believe it. No, I don't. It's all a joke. But like I went nutty there for a little bit. And then what did I do one day? I walked outside and I went, holy crap, none of this affects me. And I was being drawn down into this, and I'm not going to go political here, but I was being drawn down into the story that truly did not affect me. I lived in Oregon during COVID, if anyone's curious. Like, if you go back and remember what was happening in Portland, you could go, yeah, he was right in it. I lived in Salem, Oregon, the capital. And here's the thing. It actually didn't affect me too much. There were a couple little goofy things that got a little bit goofy. But for the most part, our capital's getting burnt down. I never saw a protester in my life. I just stayed away. It sucks. But what I did do is I went back to doing the stuff I did previous in life. I come from that military background. Like I said, in the military, if you walk by a piece of trash that's on the ground, everyone notices. And they also make you get really strong for walking by it. We're not going to do that in a societal world. Now, do I think we should do push-ups when we walk by trash? Yeah, we'd have a clean earth. It would be freaking great. But realistically, it's going to be what's in our heart and what matters. And when you do that, it's going to bring joy to yourself. There's going to be one young man, one young woman who actually sees you. They're never going to talk to you. They're never going to know your name. They're never going to shake your hand. They're never going to thank you, but they're going to go, oh my gosh, I needed that today. Because out of all that other bullshit that I just watched for the last 8 hours of my life, my shitty day at work, there's a little bit of good in earth. And then maybe that one person decides to do it. And then someone sees that young person do it, and so on and so forth. The compound effect hits and it will grow. And here's the thing. Just in America, there's 400,000, 370 some odd thousand, or million people in America. I think we're at 8 billion on Earth. That's 8 billion. I don't think we'll ever see a day where you see this huge societal shift from just picking up garbage. But I do know this. I know like-minded individuals will. I know you will continue to contribute. I know that's going to make you a better person in your heart, in your soul, of giving back, of taking something that's not right and fixing it. And if you do that every single day with that piece of trash for society, what do you think you could do in your own life? Do you think that little itty bitty problem you have, you might actually take initiative to fix? Do you think that little bit of trouble you have about waking up at 5 a.m. and getting out of bed and either journaling or going to the gym, do you think it might just be a little bit easier knowing that on the way to the gym, you might have a chance to fix something else or maybe help someone else there? It's all just how we look at the world and how we treat ourselves. And this is probably the most hippie positive Zoom call I have ever done. But it was just what was on my heart. And I had 20 minutes, so I couldn't make some crap up. I couldn't chat GPT it like I do half my day in calls. I just had to talk to you. So like I do on all my calls, if you ever on my Wednesday call, I like to be interactive because I like to chat with people. So what I'm going to do is for about the next 10, 15 minutes, open this up. If anyone has a question, raise your little orange hand thing. I'll call on you. We'll chat for a little bit, kind of keep it relevant to today's topic, or if you have any questions. And then I'll get everyone off of here and we'll just have an amazing freaking evening. And I challenge you tonight, tomorrow, go do something great for someone else. All right, all right. We'll take, I'm sorry, sir, don't know your name. I see you got a beautiful hat on there. Looks like Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, the one and only.
Together.
All right. Hey, don't worry about being there for Selena. I think you're a great replacement, and I know she appreciates it. To the subject of which you were speaking about just now, I have to admit one little failing that I did today. I was at the hotel this morning, and a young woman who is a young mother has 3 little boys and a baby in the bassinet. And I wanted so bad to go over and say, you just have a wonderful, loving little family here. I want you to know that you are doing the absolute best that you can. I can see it because I did watch her as they came in to eat and she was struggling. Like these kids were being, pain in the butt. I missed those days, honestly. But anyway, I wanted to say that, and I truly failed. I really did. I didn't do it. I was in fear of being like I'm hitting on her. I was in fear of like just being the creepy old guy, right? And I get in my car and I start driving about my day, and I get to thinking about it, and I'm like, it isn't worth it. I like take the chance, take the shot, especially when you know in your heart that you mean well. I really think that she would have saw that. I bet them boys would have been happy to, hear something like that. So, on your subject, absolutely take the chance. Don't even second guess it. Just go do it. And I've done that before. It's just that today, for whatever reason, I decided not to.
Beautiful.
So,
no, I appreciate you sharing that. And I'll just kind of segment into it. I think, and we've got some females on this call, and I think they may agree with me. I'm not female. I speak from the male perspective. But as long as you don't make it creepy, it's typically not creepy. If it's a, one and done, hey, you've got a beautiful family. I just want to say you're doing a great job, and you walk away with a good smile. I think 99% of, people on earth, even if maybe it catches them off guard, because here's the problem. People are so afraid to talk to other people that like sometimes it just catches us off guard, and we don't know how to respond. And the second part is we don't always know how to take a compliment anymore because it's been so long. But if you just say it, walk around, you might not see the joy in the face, but I guarantee you when she goes to the car and her mind's like, what in the hell just happened? And she goes, well, there's no creepy old dude around me anymore. She's going to realize this. She's going to realize it came from the heart. It came from passion. There was no other anything attached to the other side of it. And I think inside that's going to bring most people of like, oh my gosh, that is awesome. Because I know this too. Like I've never been a single mother of 3 or 4, but I know I had a single mother who had 4 boys. And looking back at it now, I'm still married to my wife, thank God. And I've got 2 daughters, and I don't know how the hell she did. I mean, I'd kill myself. I'm just being real with you. If I had to raise me, wouldn't be here. Adult me would be in jail. Young me would be dead because I did some dumb stuff and I put her through a living hell. And as a single mom with 4 boys, we didn't have this thing called vacation or go out because she was terrified because we were going to do something amazing. So I think, yeah, man, I think tomorrow, just to make up for it, 3 people. 3 people you just go compliment, walk away, enjoy it a little bit, or you help someone out. Do something for 3 different people and just make it a habit of life. So, Rich, what do you got for me, my brother?
Hey, thank you. Nathan, did I get your first name right? I hope.
Jonathan, throw a Joe in front of it.
Jonathan, I'm sorry. I can only see the last 5 letters. Yeah, thank you so much. Awesome stuff. And yeah, I mean, I am thinking about, this is actually a really good point, and something, again, another point from, your group about things that we can think about during the day to kind of up level our life state, and our energy. So it's sort of an experience, and also kind of a question to you, is that I'm sort of supporting 2 families. I have family here in the United States and family in Colombia. My fiance lives in Colombia, and I try to do as much good as I can to support her and her parents. Her parents have certain views about America and Americans, which some are accurate, some aren't. And it's kind of like what you said, we all have different opinions about things. And at the end of the day, it's all about doing good, right? So there's some things that Laura, my fiance, I need to take care of. And her, primarily the visa to get her over here, which is very difficult, can be very difficult. And so they're sometimes not happy about certain things, but I still help out. I buy bus tickets, plane tickets, medicine. I help them with all kinds of stuff. I don't think they know I'm doing it. And, I did kind of have a little bit of a slip today. And Laura said, I hope they know that I'm doing this. And I caught myself and said, it doesn't matter. God sees what I'm doing. And really it's all that counts. I have to ignore my ego and just say, I'm just going to keep doing it regardless of the differences they have. So that's part one. Part two is that I've been around Andy Elliott, family for now 5 months. And I finally did the 1 month Zoom meeting, made the investment instead of trying to be a freeloader, right? I just started that this month and I'm getting such a tremendous result. I mean, it's tiddlywinks when I'm paying, it's nothing. And, but I've got to somehow go next level. So I'm trying to see where this is, how I can do what you're talking about. Where I'm at right now, to be totally transparent, is I'm trying to get my exam taken care of for my life insurance. I have to pass the exam in my company, which is, I see Leah raising her hands. Absolutely. I'm excited, but there's something, it's like a block that I'm not studying the pace I could study. And it's not like I want to just smash it. And there's something that's keeping me from like finishing the exam, taking the state exam, starting to get my clients. The guy who, my mentor, is saying, we want to get your appointment set up. We want to get going. Let's get this going. And I don't know what it is. It's the same thing as getting up at 4:30 in the morning. There's this, I heard killing the gray area. So I guess my question to you, hear your take on it. How do I kill that once and for all? How do I just kill that gray area and just be done?
Well, I have something for you that'll help you attack really quick. And I'm super, super excited. I've never had a cocaine drug lord as a client. So this is a big day for me. I'm kidding. Everyone was thinking it, right? I'm like, not the only one. I was like, that dude fucking moves bricks. Sorry. Blink twice.
It's all good.
Bricks. Okay. The NSA is not listening. We're good. So that being said, Rich, I am having a little bit of fun with you, man. And here's what it comes down to, dude. It sounds like you got some awesome stuff. And it sounds like you've got, the two families a little bit back home. Like Colombia is a complete different culture than us. And
right.
It's so hard to believe anything nowadays because you see on the news what America is, you live in America, and then sometimes you live in America and you see what's on the news and you're like, holy crap, we are crazy as hell. Here's the cool thing. I've lived in Europe for 4 years. I've spent years in Afghanistan. Like I've been around, and every human being, I know this for the core principle, we just want to be happy. We just want to succeed. We just want comfort. We want security. We want family. We want love. We want the gratitude. I've been to war-torn nations. I've been involved in conflicts and stuff. Like when you're sitting down there and bullets aren't flying, bombs aren't going off, and you're just one-on-one with another man or another woman, like we're all on the inside the same. So when it comes to really getting focused, one thing I'll say, and excuse my language, but I curse because whatever. A lot of people, they try to find this motivation. Fuck motivation. That's what I say. Motivation is going to kill you. Motivation will keep you broke because let's be real. I'm not motivated most days. 0 days I wake up at 5 a.m. I find the people that wake up at 5 a.m. and are happy to go to the gym, they're not my friends because they're fucking weird. That's a weird thing to me. At 5 a.m., I've got this little demon on my shoulder and he's this freaking big. Him and I fight. We box it out round 5 or 6 sometimes. He's dude, your sheets are so warm and cozy. And you live in Arizona, you got that tile floor, AC kicked on 30 minutes ago. That shit's going to be cold. And he's talking me out of it every single morning and I've got to fight him. So the best way to go from I want to do this, I want to do that. And the reason a lot of people fail their goals and they can't get motivated is you've got to have a drive and you've got to have a true purpose. So if you have, it sounds like you're finally a paying member, way to go. And it's crazy when you make that thought and you invest in yourself and you're like, I'm worth it. We're good. But I want you to go back. If you have access to my Wednesday calls, about 6 weeks ago. I did a 2-part series. It was on finding your why and finding your perfect day. Watch those, and this will really dial in what I'm about to say and help you discover what it is. But most people fail their goals for one reason. They ain't freaking real. Now, let me talk to you about this for just a second so you get what I'm saying. Most people set bullshit goals that aren't real. There's no emotion attached to them. They don't really care if they fail or don't fail. So, for example, and don't get offended about what I'm going to say, but I relate everything. Like, I was a psych major in college. I studied a lot in sales. I love like NLP, like how humans communicate, the way our brains work, the endorphin rushes. Like, that's kind of how I sell, is I create that. Like, I really like how human language works and how it does. So let's say whatever day of the week, it could be the 1st of January, you know, my New Year's goal, I'm going to lose 40 pounds. Okay, cool. You're going to fail. Good job, dude. Why? Because I just said it. That doesn't mean shit. Yeah, I guess, you know, my doctor, this and that. Like, oh, whatever. If I die at 50, at least I'm going to be fucking fat and pizza's good. Like, that's the goal I set. However, let's think about this. I out of high school, I played D1 lacrosse. I then joined the military. I was in some pretty badass units. I've been in great shape my entire life, except there was this one little time when I got out of the military and I got into sales. This is before I worked for Andy. And all of a sudden my wallet started to get fat and I'm like, ooh, that's sexy. I'm looking hot as shit. And then all of a sudden with my wallet, my gut started to get fat and my waist started to get fat. And I may have started to develop a little something here that I wasn't sure if I was supposed to have or not. And like, I kept justifying to myself that I'm fat. It's cool because that platinum card's getting paid off every month. My wife loves me. She loves me the 10th of every month. And I had justified that bullshit in my mind. And I had gotten so lost in it that I had to, one, reconnect with her and my kids again because they mean the world to me. And we've been together since freaking high school. She was with me while I was in Afghanistan. She wasn't in Afghanistan, but you know, she was back home supporting me. Like, if you go through my story, and I'm not going to go through it now, our divorce rate's probably 99.9%. Like, I've done every dumb thing that you're supposed to do to try to get a divorce when it comes to like jobs, working too many hours, doing this, blowing shit up, do like whatever I do. Like, we've had a pretty cool life and I'm grateful for it. But then all of a sudden the wallet got fat and I thought that's what she wanted. Realistically, that's what I thought she wanted. And I was just an egotistical asshole. So I kept trying to lose weight and I kept trying to burn it off and I couldn't fucking do it. Like, I got pretty big for a second, not like huge, but like I was bigger than I was allowed to be personally. And she called me on it one day. So I'm like, okay, I'll get medium fat. And I got medium fat. And then like one day we're having this conversation. I'm going to get a little deep with you guys. We were sitting at an event and fitness came up, this and that. And we go back to the hotel. And if you guys have ever had a partner, like, adults do things together. That's how all of you guys were created. And like, I had this little epiphany where I'm like, babe, you just like, I never feel like you want me anymore. I never feel like you just want to like grab me and just take me and shit. Like, I kind of had that because I was missing it. And as a man, I just went, man, I'll deal with it and get mine when I get mine. Like, I was an idiot. And what I realized of finally opening up, like, and by the way, I was probably in tears in this because I might have had a couple beers and little, you know, enough to loosen up. But like, I wasn't drunk enough where I was stupid because I've had those dumb conversations in my, you know, earlier life, but I was just enough to be loose. And she's like, honestly, you've kind of let yourself go. And I'm like, huh? And she's like, well, you know, we got married. Like, you haven't always had a 6-pack, but you've always been lean as fuck. You've always been in good health. You've always been able to run. You've always been able to ruck. You've always been, you know, semi-fit. And you've kind of let yourself go. She's like, honestly, I don't even have that, you know, sexual attraction to you right now. And I went, oh my, that's fucking stab. I'm like, oh, I killed her. I'm just kidding. I actually got really fucking angry, but I was so fucking angry, I didn't talk. Because I wasn't angry at her, because she was finally honest and she finally said it. Because I'm kind of an asshole. If you guys don't get my personality, I'm very type A. I will shut people down by accident sometimes. Like, I'm just so passionate about whatever the fuck I believe that I'd be a great politician. But this time, like, really freaking hurt. Like, it hurt me, and it really did. So there was a few days of thinking, because I mean, that's like, imagine your friend stabbing your back. That's what the original pain felt like. But really, she was taking the knife out that she had put there a while ago, or really that I had put there. Like, I had done the shit myself, and she finally pulled it and started to apply the stitches. And I finally took everything I wanted about losing weight and I attached an emotion to it. I was like, wait, if I want that passion again, if I want that level of attraction again, I got to lose weight and get in the shape I was when you first met me and it was there. And I went and fucking did it. And that's when I got back down to, you know, that 33, 34 waist. That's when I got back down. Like, I'm heavier than I've ever been, but I'm also, have a much higher muscle content or muscle fucking weight than I ever have before. But I finally got back down to that kind of like athlete physique that I grew up having. So I would say this: when it comes to life insurance, when it comes to when it comes to passing your test, one, you got to figure out what your drive is. You got to figure out your seventh level of why. Why do you want to do it? Good. Go 7 levels deeper. Why does that matter? Why does that matter? Why does that matter? That's all going to be logical things. When you go next on the level, usually 4 to 7, it's a Tony Robbins exercise, 4 to 7, those whys are going to start going emotional. And then you want to get about to that 7th or 8th level and connect your why to an emotion. Because I guarantee you this, Rich, I guarantee you, if I told you, and this is kind of, coming out of Andy Elliott's book, so don't record this shit and put it on the internet, you might make me famous. If I told you this, I was going to kidnap your entire family, wife, kids, everyone back in Colombia, and I was going to kill them all in 12 months. If you don't get your life insurance license and put up 150K, 250K in the next 12 months, dude, you would do it like that. You wouldn't even think, you wouldn't even be on this freaking, hey, you might get on this call to keep your mind right, keep it focused, but dude, you'd be out there attacking. And that's the level of emotion you need to attach to it, is you need to go through your goals. You need to set your desires. You need to figure out why this is so important to you, and don't stop going down that deep path until the arms or the hair on your arms is sticking up. Don't stop digging into that until you're tearing up thinking about this. Because when you create the emotion that deep attached, where you're tearing up, where the hair on your arms, my fucking got goosebumps and shit now. When you got goosebumps and shit, that's the level that your goals need to be attached to an emotion, and you will not fail them at that point. But if it's like, I need to do this because it's convenient and it would sure be fun and I'd like to have them and all this shit, dude, okay, yeah, it sounds good. The news is going to buy that shit up. Your boss will buy that shit up. Everyone's going to tell you, good job, dude. No, I want to know why. I want to know when you don't do it, how bad it hurts. I want to know when it doesn't happen. Your wife is just jabbing that freaking knife into your gut saying you ain't doing the shit you say you're going to do, and it needs to piss you off, and you need to feel it on the inside. I talked this morning, watch my call this morning again. It was about making your everything that you dream, everything that you want, you better taste it, smell it, believe it. Like, you want to freaking start living a big life, go fly first class, see what that's like. You want to go tour the world, you want to go like move to Hawaii one day, you've never been there in your life. If like, for example, if your goal is to go live in Hawaii, buy a beautiful house when you're 50 and retire in Hawaii and live there, and you've never been there in your life, dude, you need to get a ticket tomorrow, fly to Hawaii, smell it, touch it, walk in the sand, walk in the beach, go eat some food, and then fly your ass back so you get the experience. So you know what it smells like, feels like, tastes like, everything. And then create that in your mind, and it becomes a reality. So go deeper on yourself, man. Go deeper on what this is going to do for you and what you really want to achieve. Attach a deep, deep, deep-seated emotion to it, and you'll be killer. Isabella, what do you got for me?
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hey, Jonathan. So I was going to say something different, but what you just said was huge. And it touched me 100%. I'm a life insurance agent, and I've been following Andy since September. That's how I got into Real Financial with Leah. And it's been tough. It's been tough. The ups and downs have been horrible. I mean, the downs have been more than the ups. However, I have done more than I have ever done in my life since I've been listening to Andy. And some of you have heard the story already, but I'm going to start it by the fact that, one little stupid sentence that pissed me off got me to go to the gym, and I lost 50 pounds. Another stupid little sentence got me to read a book. It took me 10 years to read Think and Grow Rich. 10 years. And I read it in 3 days after this. But then the downs come, right? So if you ask me, have I accomplished anything? I'll tell you, no. I mean, I haven't been able to make it. I can't buy leads. I have all these things. But in reality, a lot of things, yeah, I've accomplished major things I never even dreamed of I could do. Go to the gym every day, wake up at 4:30 in the morning every day. Me? Never. So when you talk about the why and that thing that I guess keeps you going, right? what kept me going to lose weight? What keeps me going to go to the gym? What keeps me going to keep reading and improving myself? It may be because I guess my focus is not to be the top producer, but in reality is to be a much better me, right? So I don't know. And
Well,
then
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was going to say, that's what's glorious about sales. That's what's glorious about real financial and really any sales industry you're in. If your product is half decent and serves a purpose in society, like everyone is so afraid of being sold. They're salespeople. You know, I come from an automotive and real estate background, like one of the most hated industries in America. I mean, automotive's like right up there with politicians and automotive dudes. Like they go back.
Life insurance.
Yeah, and then attorneys jump in there occasionally. So that being said, like the cool thing about sales is when you become a sales professional, and it's not just a sales, hey, I'm going to come around and learn some cool word tracks and say words, is you actually quit closing people and you actually start selling your entire life. The definition of sales or the definition of persuasion is just to take my energy and make you feel the exact same way I do. Like I'm literally selling every one of you right now. And I'm not going to pitch you. I'm not going to ask for anything. But, you know, there might be something, or maybe I can admit, I don't know, who knows? But I do know when I'm out in society, I have this is what I've geared my life to. If I can go out and increase one person's life every single day, and I can continue to do that over and over again, and it could just be some value. It could be a smile. It could be a thank you. And I'm not perfect. Like biggest thing I work on right now is just smiling. Because I come from that military background. I come from that, you know, straight face. Like I've got a lot of love in the heart. The problem is if I keep in here, nobody knows. So that's something I have to work on. But if I can go out and improve one person's day, or when I get on a call like this, even if it's like I take Andy's call occasionally, it's 150, 200 people. My focus is on one individual. And a little trick that I do on these Zoom calls is I grab whoever's the most engaging with me and whoever's got the most like visual, like facial expressions and enjoying it. And I put that one person right in the middle, right below my camera so I can focus on my camera, look down and see how they're engaging with me. I don't care about the rest of you. Now, yes, I care about the rest of you, but I pour all my passion into that one person. Why? Because everyone wants to think us as humans are so unique. We want to think, oh, I've got this blueprint that no one has. Well, guess what? Internally, you've got all the same freaking shit. The chemistry in your brain works the same for the most part. Like, you know, there's a little bit of differences here, but realistically, we're all machines. That's why a sales process works. That's why objection handlers work, because we're all the same. So 9 times out of 10, when Isabel has a problem, Harley might have the exact same thing. Now, here's the thing. Harley might not be man enough today to admit it. Or maybe Harley's like, I didn't even know I had that, but now I do. And that's what's cool about this is when you pay this like idea that, dude, I'm not just a fucking life insurance salesperson. I'm a salesperson. And I take it as a badge of honor. I take it as a badge of honor because one, I make more money than every doctor and lawyer on earth. That's freaking awesome. You know, the financial freedom is great. But what I take it on is when I went from salesperson to screwing people over to buy cars, and I didn't really screw people over, but you know, not everybody needs a new car. I didn't always feel great about every deal. I never lied to anyone. I would, you know, lead a conversation in the direction I wanted it to go, but never straight lie or anything like that. So let's clarify that. But when I quit selling, and if you guys ever get on a cold call with me, I don't really sell too hard. I'll beat you up a little bit. I'll tell you exactly what I think you need to hear. And a lot of times it works. But like I've quit, you know, doing the objection handler. I've quit rolling a script. I've got like one thing I say, hey, tell me about yourself. Married, kids, living at home. What's your story? Shut up and listen. After that, the call's freestyle. And then when I'm coming over your objections, I don't use witty one-liners. I just talk from my heart. I literally, when that, hey, you know, how old are you, married, kids, living at home? What's your story? Like when I use that, what I do is I'll usually kick back in a chair, shut my eyes, and I start picturing stuff. And then I take me and I put myself in your picture. And then I imagine your face. I imagine your voice. Like, because humans, we could profile people, right? For the most part, I could kind of hear your voice and I can kind of paint a picture. I could tell if you're overweight by your voice. I could tell if you're thin. A lot of times we could tell people's ethnicity by just where they were born, where they were raised. I literally paint this perfect picture of someone. And 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty dang dead on. 1 time out of 10, I get on Facebook. I'm like, oh shit, I'm an asshole. But most of the time I'm dead on. And then what do? When I'm having that conversation with you and I hear that little chuckle or I hear that giggle, I throw the smile on your face. Or if I hear that we're going down and I'm getting a little hard on you because I've got to beat you up to build you up, I see the emotion, I see it shock up, I see those eyes open, just alert. Because then what I do is I'm talking to a human being. And when you start doing that on your phone calls, when you start doing that at Walmart, when you just speak to someone, and I don't mean bust into Walmart and give someone this awesome presentation like I'm doing now, you got to build them into that a little bit. But you could just say thank you. And what I love about being a salesperson is I learned how to be a better husband. I learned how to reconnect with my daughters. I've got a 13 and a 9-year-old, and being that rough military dad, I'm still, strict on certain things. It's like, I don't fuck with the black area. Like I love the gray area. I'll play in the gray all day. I'll let my kids play in the gray. I love it. They'll screw with my wife. As long as it ain't me, it's fucking hilarious. But there's certain areas that I have, like that black hard stop, where it goes from 0 to 100 quick. So I still have that, but I also learned how to be the fun dad again. I learned that my kids don't need, hey, all right. Like that just doesn't make sense. That's old me. I mean, I still screw with people occasionally, but like, I love what you said, because you nailed it, Isabel. I mean, you said you've been following Andy for a while. You've been here. I know a lot of you have been for a while. I mean, Leah's, you've been here for freaking ever. 5 months for Rich, and then a handful of you have met. Like, sales is great. Sales and business is amazing. I want you guys all to be affluent. There is an unlimited amount of money in the earth. I mean, literally, we print fucking $4 trillion because someone coughed and wore a mask. Like, we make monopoly money whenever we feel like it. So that shit exists, and there's a lot of it. But really, really, really what matters is, one, you got to get the handcuffs of society off you. What is that? That's barely paying bills. That's barely getting by. That's not hitting your dreams. But once you kind of get into that affluency space, and what that affluency space is, it's not that far away. Honestly, I talk about this a lot on my calls. When you make about 180, maybe 225,000 a year, depending on where you live, everything beyond that, the happiness curve is over. Now, I'm not saying you can't make 40, 50, $60,000 a year and be happy, but the level of happiness of crap that you're buying, you've got a nice car, you've got a nice house, like shit's being paid, bills are freaking done, like shit's paid off, and like money stacking in the bank. The happiness curve is over. Once you get to the point, and your number could be a lot different. It doesn't have to be that high. That's kind of my number. But once you get to that point, you no longer are handcuffed. And then you can really focus on the best father, the best mother, the best husband, the best wife, the best shopper at Safeway. You could focus on changing someone else's life. You could focus on, heck, maybe just going to like a Toastmasters thing. If you want to be a public speaker, I tell people all the time, go do it. Toastmasters. Go learn to speak in front of people. There's a million opportunities for you to share your story. And I don't care how boring you are. I don't care how much you suck. You have a story somebody else wants to hear. And that's what's great about sales, is you're an actor and an actress and a storyteller. Everyone in Hollywood's in the same place. All them big A-list actors, they're just really good salespeople. They get an audience emotionally captured so the network can sell you a bunch of shit. They are killers, and they make a lot of money. They're really good at it. So think about that. That's what you are as a salesperson, is just an actor of the positivity in your life. Don't be fake, but be the true you. Be the deep, deep you, and be the person that changes everything. So I love what you said, because you separated from the money and you're seeing the good that's happened to your life. And that truly, Isabel, truly, 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 I want you to start closing more leads, but it truly means a lot more to me that you have found other growth and happiness. So Harley, we're going to move on to you, my man. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, Jonathan? That was fire.
I just saw your name, so I had to call you out.
I love it. Hey, you had said something. You were talking. You said, "Hey, tell me about yourself. What's your story?" You shut up and you lean back in your chair and you just listen, and then you transfer yourself. You picture yourself in the client's shoes or whatever. You said something just before that I completely skipped my mind. It was so powerful. I started writing it and I didn't get it.
You think I remember the things that come out of my mouth?
No, I don't. If you're like me, you don't.
I'll be real, dude. Like when I do these calls, especially if I don't have any notes and I'm kind of just freestyling, which is 9 out of 10, I usually, like, even on my calls, I'll write like 3 or 4 like hit points in case I get lost. I'll move back to one of them. But like, dude, when I get off a stage, like I'm speaking Friday, the first thing I'm going to have is I'm going to look at someone that I trust and go, how did I do? And 9 times out of 10, if that person don't know me, they go, you don't remember what you said? I'm like, I don't remember a fucking thing of what I just said. Like, I literally black out during these calls and just talk. Anyway, I'm listening to y'all. That's how I respond and have a good conversation. But does anybody remember the epic stuff that I said slightly before whatever I just said that he didn't hear?
I caught it. I caught it when you said something. It triggered it. You were doing the Zoom. When you do a Zoom, you put one person up by the camera and you look at that guy. That was what it was. I appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%. It'll help you a lot. And you switched it around. Like Leah, she's been engaging quite a bit. I had Rich there for a while. He was engaging. Desiree's been engaging a while. So I move people randomly through it. Just whoever I'm hitting. Yep, Obi-Wan. I just don't know his real name. I'm going to get it eventually. He's been all over the place. But like I try to kind of focus on one person for the most part. One, it keeps me looking like I'm, here where my camera is. Like how many of you I've been talking to someone like right now, Rich, by the way, is bottom right of my screen. I'm looking at Rich and you guys are like, where the hell are his eyes? Like, so if you do Zoom calls to close people, like I've done before when I was getting used to them, I would put a little smiley face like around my camera. Like they make these little things that you could post on and it helps. And like you just track there. And like if you guys ever see my reels and stuff, that's actually shot from a secondary camera slightly above my Zoom camera. So that's a hard one because my eyes go back and forth between it, depending on if I'm doing some epic shit for the gram. No, man, I appreciate that. But yeah, dude, whether you're in person, over the phone, over Zoom, make every situation like, and I tell people this, especially new salespeople, is like, hey, who's like the most important person? If you have kids, this actually works really well. Like, so one of my most important people is my wife and my 2 daughters. I have a 13-year-old daughter. She's freaking amazing, but she's also smart and she's also like likes to screw with me a little bit. So she's terrifying. Because she understands things and she jokes around. So sometimes she'll walk up to me and I'll be like, Ryan, what are you doing? She's like, just drugs. And I'm like, oh, at least you got my sense of humor, but fuck, you probably are doing drugs. What do you got? I'm gonna get you with my buddy Rich. He can hook you up. He's got the clean bam bam. So that being said, like I sometimes say this, like every time you talk to a client, every time you get on a Zoom call, every time, if you ever get on stage or something like this, you need to pretend like I'm talking to my 13-year-old. And she just came home from a wild party and it was snowing. I mean, I'm in Scottsdale. It snows in Scottsdale. I know it don't get cold enough to snow, but y'all know what I'm saying. Rich does. But that being said, like, I imagine like I'm having that conversation with her because I'm not the parent that's going to beat her ass. I'm not the parent that's going to ground her. I'm going to allow her to make her own decisions. Now, 13, if she's, if it's snowing and you're 13, that might be a little different of a story. But like, and some of you are like, hey, you got something to worry about, dumbass. Let's say she's like 16 or 17 to make me feel better as a father and something like that happens. Like I'm trying to connect with my clients. I'm trying to connect with my audience. Like I'm trying to talk to Orion and not beat her ass, but like inspire her that there's something better here that like, hey, if you want to go out and have fun, I can't sit here and tell you that I've been this perfect soul, but I want you to be safe, kid. I want you to know, one, your mom and dad, we love you, blah, blah, blah. If you ever get in, a situation, like I don't even know how to have this conversation. So this is like really weird because it's almost surreal right now. But like, if you ever were getting in that situation, I want you to know you can call me and I'll beat your ass in 3 days after you fucking sober up. Like that's the conversation without the ass whooping that I want to have with clients. So yeah, that's kind of why I do the little Zoom thing because I want someone who's actually engaging. Like if you've ever been on a Zoom call or something and your entire audience looks like this. Bitch, I know you're texting. You're either texting or you're looking at something you shouldn't be doing. Come on, dude. It's weird. Like, it's not right. Zoom call. So I find, yeah, there we go. See, he's just like, fuck it, I'm on it. But yeah. So does anybody else have anything else real quick before we bounce? I appreciate you, Harley. Thank you, man. All right, Mario.
Hey, Jonathan. Glad to see you. I was on your call this morning. You're actually one of my favorites, if I'm being honest. I look forward to your Wednesday classes. So I'm currently on my 17th day of 75 hard.
Don't quit.
So yeah, it's tough, but honestly, I feel like it's only going to get harder. It's only going to get harder. So right now, on my second workouts, I've been doing a lot of thinking. I don't even listen to music right now. I just sit with my thoughts. And one thing that I actually wanted to ask you was a couple classes ago, you did this exercise with one of the guys. It was for finding your why.
Yeah.
So you kind of asked him, what do you want? Why? Okay, why? And you just kind of kept asking him why. And I feel like that's something that I want to do, on my own time. Because honestly, I don't know my why. I really don't. Everybody seems to have like a North Star, they call it. Like there's things that I know that I would like, like I'd like to make a lot of money. I'd like to have a house, multiple houses, nice car, all this, but I can't really tie emotion to it because to me, it just looks nice, So I wanted to know what that.
You need to, and I said it on my last call, you need to watch my call on finding your perfect day because that's going to help you visualize what your perfect day or your perfect year look like. And then I need you to watch the call on finding your why. And then I need you to watch that call that you just watched of going deeper into your why and connecting it to an emotional state. Now, I'm going to go into a little bit of nerd psychology for you. There's a man that you might want to read up on. It's Sigmund Freud. he has a theory, and I forget what it is. We're not going to turn this into a psychology class, but one of the names for it is the penis envy theory. You need to start looking into early childhood development. You need to start looking into it. It is very, very deep. It is very, very sexual. It is very, very weird. But when you look at it in real life, you're like, oh shit, it's fucking true. So what it's going to do is it's probably going to attach your why all the way to something to adolescence. It's going to attach that deep, 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 deep level of why to probably something to your mom or your dad on a deep level. And like I said, this might not be an exercise that you can do on the first try. It might take some deep diving. You might have to go a little bit deeper. You might have to do it 4 days later, a week later, and you might have to do it every 6 months because it'll change. But I could tell you this, back to what I said, if the hairs on your arms are not standing up, if you're not in tears, if you're not, crying a little bit, if you're not afraid of someone walking in the room seeing you look like a little bitch, you ain't doing it right. So it might take you a few times to get there because it's basically like everyone says, like when you're on stage, right? It's like, imagine the audience naked and it'll make it easier. Like I've never done that. That'd be weird. But this is really what it is. This is the level of uncomfort that you've got to get within yourself. Imagine you're on stage, 10,000 people. You're about to give this crazy, crazy speech and you're naked. Like that's the level of like emotion and exposure you need to put into that exercise of where everything's off the table. And that's why you do it with generally by yourself. If you have a mentor out there, if you have someone that you could trust undoubtedly, like I'm talking client privileges, like an attorney that you actually trust, you can maybe do it with them if they know what they're doing and they can help guide you through it. But a lot of times, even your best friend, sometimes even your spouse is not the right person because you will hide things. Because, a lot of times, and we all do it, like I try to be a badass. Like I try to be in slightly better shape than I am, even though I'm in much better shape than I was earlier. Like I still, try to flex. Like, you pull a milk in and you get that little tricep pop and shit. It's like, I got 6 bags, babe. Fucking man. Like you've gotta, sorry, real talk. You've got to be your authentic self in this. And that's why I say lock yourself in the room for an hour, light, dim lit, fucking, you can have music in the background, but no lyrical music, maybe some jazz or, something that's just tones. Don't put lyrics in there because lyrics will fuck with your head. You'll pick up notes. You'll pick up words, just soft music. Don't do music that like has lyrics to it. And they just took the lyrics out. I'm talking like just jazz. I don't know if jazz has lyrics, but like I've heard there's music without words. I like silence better. My place is silence. I do a lot of deep thinking in the sauna. I fucking love the sauna. I don't know why, but like when I'm in there, if there's like that jackass in there having a conversation with his buddy, I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. This is quiet time. So get to your place like that, man, and go deep. And dude, you might just practice it while you're driving around and just start getting deeper and deeper in yourself and start being able to make get yourself emotional. And like I said, it might take 3 or 4 runs, dude. You might not nail it on the first one. You might come up with some why of like, I like puppies. And you're like, oh, that's fucking stupid. I don't even know how I got there. Cool. Do it again in a week. And then do it every 3 months, 6 months. It's going to change up a little bit. It'll be, once you get it pretty dialed, it'll be roughly about the same, but there might just be a little hint in it. There might be a little change in your life that, maybe it wasn't your mom and it was your grandma because she raised you more or some shit, but I'm not going to tell you anything more about me. So I saw another hand up and I was about to switch. It started with an E. I just don't remember the name. I'm super, super sorry.
Hey, Jonathan, where do we find that we go 6 weeks back? That's what I was trying to look for in my account. We want to go 6 weeks back. How do we do that? On a Google Doc from your group?
What program are you on with us, Rich?
I'm on the Zoom meeting program.
Okay. So yeah, for what you're on, you'll log into Elliot247.com. So that'll be the main page. So if you're on the I think it's like $99 a month or something like that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So that one alone, you'll log into Elliot247.com. You'll click in there, log in, all that good stuff. And then you'll just see, it'll say like Monday with Andy, Monday with Chris, Tuesday, Wednesday, mine's the Wednesday. Click the Wednesday, you'll find it under there. I label them all. One of them will say something to do with perfect day. One of them will say something to do with finding your why and tear it up. If you can't, man, which way do I move? There we go. Elite Jonathan Roberts. I don't know how to do that shit. On Instagram, you're more than welcome to DM me or look at my fucking Instagram. It's got my phone number and shit on it. Just
okay.
Me, that's my personal number. But cool. Tear this up and you'll be a savage. Anybody else?
Thank you.
All right, if you guys would tell Selena I completely messed. I'm just kidding. That'll give her a heart attack. She'll freaking die. Hey, if you guys would, and don't say shit about me, text Selena something awesome. She's got a pretty big thing going on at SolarCon. I'm staying back. She's amazing. I know she pours it into all of you. So text, she's on a flight right now. I don't know if she's paying for the $14 so she can text or whatever. She might be, but at least give her some entertainment. Everyone, if you would, text Selena something amazing tonight about her, not about me. I do want to specify that. Something about her that you guys have loved that she's brought to the table. It will make her fucking day. I promise that. But I love
Do you
you.
have her number, her text number?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I was looking for it earlier. I had it, but
Let me see. I don't have it memorized. Jeez. All right. It is, and I'll type it in here too. 949-212. Oops. Nope, that's wrong. 949-212-1587.
right, thank you.
I'll leave that up for a second. But yeah, text her something amazing if you guys would. Like I said, it'll make her freaking evening. She'll be ecstatic. She's that type of person that loves that stuff. Tell her something that she's contributed to your life, how she's helped you out a little bit. We'd appreciate it. You guys have an amazing evening. Like I always say, if you need any of us, reach out to your coach, reach out to myself, reach out to each other, but be there for someone else and be a great person. We'll talk soon. Y'all have a